some of the staff files, only appointment letters, no application, no certificate, no nothing attached.
Yes, we have seen that in the audit report. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mrs. Sala, good morning once again.
Morning, ma.
May I say that in your statement, when you talked about the issue of salaries, you have highlighted that the salary arrears for August
Yes.
is 2,257,257.42.
Yes.
And this, I believe, you were able to arrive at this figure given some data.
Yes.
So how did you reconcile the data that was given to you?
You know,
The sum total of what you have mentioned in your statement.
you know, the total areas for July. When we came in, we looked at the payroll itself. Then we compared it to the June payroll and going back to May payroll. That's where we have it difficult. But later on we understood, because if you look at the payroll, some of them are under suspension. The amount will not be in the payroll. They will not be paid. So some of them, what we did was for the month of July, my director of finance prepared the payroll with my support through the payroll for May and June. So some of the staffs who were not paid were included in June. That makes the total payroll of total amount of 950,000 for July and August respectively. But there was also the balance of that is why I said note that the June was not fitting, was not completed. Because at that time the car park fees we did not receive the car park fees, and also that the amount was not sufficient for us to pay the amount the staff salary to Vista Bank.
Now, the revenues you collect as we speak, you are paying these revenues into the various accounts.
Yes. Previously we were paying to Vista Bank. We allocated certain revenues to other banks, but later on we realized, because we are communicating with the banks, that we will make a payment plan, because if we continue depositing all those monies to that account, we will not be able to do anything. So what we did was, and that is why the overdraft has gone reasonably, has gone down. Now we have a credit balance at Trust Bank, 2,332,612.32.
And where are you reading that information from?
No, that's my personal information I have.
We will want to have documents and data,
Yes.
to allow us to understand how you are able to, within this short period of time, be able to generate that kind of money and make.
I can explain why the 2 million. You know, we received government subvention of 2 million.
When did you receive the government subvention?
Some 3 weeks ago, or 1 month ago. We received the government subvention.
And that was paid into which account?
It was paid to Trust Bank account. So out of that trust.
As at the time you paid at the Trust Bank account, what was the negative balance?
No, when we are paying that 2 million, there was no overdraft at Trust Bank.
There was no negative balance.
No, there was no negative balance, because we have cleared that negative balance through the car park fees we received. Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
But now that at Supersonic, then we were depositing, we designated certain revenues to other banks like Vista Bank and Supersonic, and as at date today, we had 1.5 million overdraft at Supersonic instead of 5.5. And Vista Bank, we had 3.4 instead of 6,140,000.
So which means the data that you have given, in your statement has substantially changed with respect to the negative 12,572,000.
Yeah, because the reason was, you know, I was at the National Audit Office. Then Camara called me, when I was making these statements, I could not go back to the office. It was just this morning I called account officers to give us our current balance. But nonetheless, we can supply you with the bank statements from the date we started and as a date today.
We will request for those statements.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you. Council, you may proceed.
Yes, so under revenue and expenditure management system, you were explaining in your report that is your statement.
Yes.
Regarding the financial reporting system that you found on the ground. When you said that it was done through the IFMIS and 5C Energy.
Yes.
Can you please elaborate more on that?
Yes, sometimes when you request for information from the accounting officers, most of the time they will delay and they will say network. You understand? And even when you look at the 5C Energy, we had a weekly report. We found that with the new chairman that every Monday we have to present the weekly report, the transactions. But if you look at the information that 5C Energy is giving us on the screen, and in real terms on collection, is not realistic, it's not existing. So therefore we said,
let's first discuss that a bit before you proceed to ask to what the outcome of that would be. Now, you are saying that the weekly report is what you found on the ground. That is the reporting system regarding the area council and 5C. Is that correct? Regarding the financial state of the revenue collection.
Yes.
Using the automated machine system.
Yes.
This digital machine collection system. Is that not correct?
Yes.
Now, these weekly reports, how often do they happen? Is it like every Friday?
No, every Monday.
Every Monday?
Yes.
Now, you're saying what 5C will have in their system as being revenue collected for a particular week would be different from what the area council will have in their records. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
What do you mean they will be different? Can you explain? Is it that 5C would have a higher number collected, but then what is deposited or being accounted for in the area council is way lesser? Can you explain in detail what you mean by that?
Yes, sometimes it will be higher, sometimes it will be lesser. Sometimes, let's take for example, for a revenue collector, for a particular revenue collector will have a higher amount. Then in the other week, it will have a lesser amount. So what we did was, we said, okay, we introduce an exact for backup. On a daily summary sheet, we prepared a daily summary sheet on a daily transaction when we give our weekly and the daily transactions. So if you go to the market to collect on daily basis, you as a collector, you will write whatever amount you receive. And when you go to the bank, the amount you receive will tally, because we will not look at what you have, you will not look at what you have deposited. We will look at what you have written on your daily summary sheet. Because sometimes the daily summary sheet will tell you the exact amount that was received. And some of them, instead of receiving, some of them will be short with $100, $200, then the finance director will ask them to pay. And they go and pay to the account before the following week. And that has helped us a great, because the daily summary sheet and the weekly summary sheet will tell us at a particular date, this is what the revenue we receive, and at a particular week, this is what we receive as LUMO collection.
So you do that by knowing exactly how much a particular role will, yes, how many tickets can be issued using a particular role?
Yes, I wouldn't know how much a particular, because I've never used this, but I think, but on a daily basis, we will be able to know on track that this is the amount of receipt and that this is the amount of money and that this is the amount of cash deposited at the bank, tallying with the daily summary sheet plus the bank deposits.
Okay. Now, so as of now, what is the state of 5C and the area council? The contractual state of 5C and the area council?
With 5C, we owe them a lot of money, because the first invoice that we received was 2,200,000.
When you took over?
Yes.
2,200,000.
I think it was 3 million before. They paid 800,000, so balance 2,200,000.
What is the agreement with 5C? Are you familiar with the agreement? Did you see any contract document with 5C?
Yes, I saw the contracts, but to be honest, I couldn't establish any tangible information because
Sorry, Mr. Sala, do you have the contract agreement here with you?
No, I don't have, ma.
We will request that you provide us with the contract agreement.
No problem.
Thank you.
Please proceed.
The contract was very detailed. But I understand it was a sharing.
Detail as in brief,
yeah,
or
brief.
detail as in very
Brief. I mean,
yes.
brief. Because if when we said that they indicated that they're going to collect, if you say you're going to collect 55 million and upwards, so that was what was used as a baseline. So, and that was why FC was charging us, 5C was charging us at that amount. So, and having the 55 million for a year was rather impossible. So that was why FC was, I think, to the advantage of the council, to be honest.
So
For instance,
we did not get that point. Can you state it?
I said, because if they said that the baseline is 55 million, and it's a profit sharing ratio.
Now, before you proceed, this 55 million, are you referring to what is contained in the agreement?
Whether I'm referring
yes, whether it's just an example or is the 55 million is what is contained
budget,
in the agreement?
in the budget, yes.
All right.
So how it works is...
Let him finish what he is saying with respect to, you understand, the nature
Yes.
of the contract.
That is what I want to guide him through, so that you will understand as to exactly,
Yes.
because they operate in baseline. So what you
Yes.
will have is a baseline estimated revenue for a particular year.
Yes.
And based on that baseline, usually that's how it works. Usually they will now peg their share in profit
Yes,
as per the estimated revenue in a particular year.
Exactly.
Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So that's what I want to guide you to explain to commissioners as to.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, please proceed.
Yes, that's what I was saying. I said maybe the 55 million was too high for us because if you peg that 55, that means that we will be paying more to F5C. And not knowing very well that we cannot receive 55 million per year
Yes.
in Bas area.
So we will take it one at a time because it's quite a very important piece of evidence
Yes,
regarding the profit sharing
yes.
between the area council and 5C, and as to what is really actually up to on the ground. So you are saying there is an estimation of the revenue collection for every year to be $55 million.
For 2023, we have a budget estimate of 55 million. I don't know that of the 2021 and other respective years, but what we had in 2023 was 55 million, and I think the profit sharing will go by the 55 million.
Yes.
And that is why when we are putting our areas for our total areas for contract, we said that we are putting an estimate of 3 million for FC again, meaning we have a total areas of 5,200,000 to be paid to 5C Energy.
So what I want to have very clear is regarding the baseline for 2023 and how much council will owe 5C, regardless of whether revenue of that amount is being met or not. Now we have 55 million in 2023, that is the estimated revenue collection. Is that not correct?
Yes.
So that the profit sharing, if it is it 50-50?
No, the contract, when I look at the contract, it's not even stated. It's not stated in the contract. But what I understand is if it is above, because when I ask, they say if it is above, it was definitely with FC Energy contract. When we provide the documents, you will see. But it was too brief, the detail, it was too brief. We don't understand. But maybe because they signed the contract, maybe.
So we will look at it.
Yes.
Now, what happened, let's say, for example, if in 2023 you cannot reach 55 million as an estimated revenue, do you still do you still pay or owe 5C as per the estimated revenue collection, even though you haven't collected that amount yet?
I think we are entering into renegotiation with all our partners, because with this difficult time, even for Mr. Akim, we've been appealing. At some point, he will even threaten to say that he will stop hosting the system maybe under.
No, before that.
Yes.
55 million for the year 2023.
Yes.
Let's assume you collect $20 million. Do you still make payment, or do you still, will it be taken that you still owe them as per the estimated revenue, 55 million, or do you have to go by the 20 million that's been collected?
No, I think we will go by the 20 million collected.
That has been happening. Is that what is obtained on the ground?
Well, for sure. No, I cannot say.
You don't know.
Yeah, I cannot say.
Now, when can you make us available this 5C contract?
Oh, as soon as I go to Basse, I can send it.
So when you
even it was requested, Lamintura, I think Lamintura submitted it. I don't know.
So when you assumed your as the acting CEO.
Sorry, Council, let me ask. When you looked at the books, with respect to knowing how much the council owes 5C, you have indicated in your statement that council owes 5C 2.2 million.
Yes.
And this is as a result of calculations based on the baseline of 50 million.
No.
So what was the, I just want to know the baseline. What was the baseline for 2022 and 2021? Because this accumulated areas should be for 2022, 2021, going downwards.
Yeah, goodness.
Or do you have different baselines for each year?
Yeah, the baseline would be different if depending on the total amount of revenue budgeted for that particular year. Because if you see this, because we found this invoice of 3 million starting from 2019 to 2021.
That is this 2 million?
Yeah, no, it was 3 million.
Yes.
So out of the 3 million, we paid 800,000.
So now, my question now is, when you receive this invoice, the invoice should be in a position to let you have an insight as to what was the baseline that they used for 2019, 2020, and 2021, because they are asking for the 2.2 for 2019, from 2019 to 2021. Right?
Yes.
Because that would inform you what sort of baseline they were using.
Yes.
To prorate how much you are supposed to pay them.
Yeah.
But don't you think all of this calculations ought to have been captured in the agreement?
No, the agreement I had, there's no calculation. That was not of that sort.
There's no.
No. All we were told.
And what was the basis of them agreeing with the council, or the council agreeing with 5C, when they actually know, the budget is an estimate, and they may not actually, if they say they are going to collect revenue for example, 39 million, they are certain that they will not collect the 39 million. So how did they arrive at this conclusion?
Well, the budget was not prepared by us.
Yes.
And
just by going through the records, if you have any idea.
Yes.
You can let us know.
Yes. So what we understand, because what we used to do, us in Mansakongo, when we prepare the budget, it is a participatory budget. We send to the councillors, and we had, but for this one, what we found out, that the 55 million, because even these invoices of 3 million we found, and the 800,000 was paid. We couldn't even know how much total amount of revenue collected, because even when we look at the financial statements for the 2019, 2020, and the 2021.
But yes, but before you proceed, the 5C has data. Because they were using the machines.
Yes.
And they don't know how much revenue was collected. Did they not provide that data to you?
No, sometimes it's difficult. You will request for, if it was not the the system that we are running parallel to the IFMIS under the 5C, then it would have been very difficult. Sometimes even we had it difficult, we had it tough because the staff, some are not supporting. It's difficult to get information.
Any questions from the commissioners? Now, so basically, what was paid to 5C, or you are saying when they send these invoices, you cannot cross-check or verify with any document regarding as to whether, in fact, that is exactly how much is owed to them or not?
Yes, we didn't go through those things.
Regarding the salaries, the salaries. So, what was the state of the salaries arrears when you assumed office?
The salary areas for June, the only amount paid was the pensioners and the staff on cash. They were the only paid for June. Then when we came in, we paid for EcoBank, staffs at EcoBank, staff at Ajib Bank, and the staff at GT Bank. Then we wanted to pay for the Vista Bank, where we had about 288 something thousand to be paid for staff salary. So when we negotiated with them, we couldn't agree at that time, because when we deposit that money into our account, it will sink, because we owe them over 4 point something million. So what we did was that was a time that we went to negotiate, but it was difficult too. So that was the time that we used our GT Bank, Trust Bank account to pay our staffs at this place. To pay our staff at Vista Bank, because we collected their BBAN numbers and sent to our GT Bank, Trust Bank account officers to credit those accounts to Vista Bank.
So when you came, there were about 3 months unpaid salaries.
Yes.
That was June, July, and August.
Yes.
And as of now,
yes.
This current this period,
yes,
did you pay all these salaries, or are there still outstanding salaries? In short, yeah.
We had, in my report, we said there is a salary areas for the month of July and August.
And
so
August.
Out of this, yes, we've not paid nothing in July and August. We only completed the salaries for June. So when we receive this government subvention, because the government subvention is meant for projects, so we cannot use the government subvention for salaries. So we wrote to a situational report, a similar.
Please use the microphone.
More detailed than this to our ministry for a support, but up till now we have not received any information, and that is why I said.
Can you avail us the document you wrote to the ministry?
Yes, I can.
You have a copy here with you?
It should be in my computer. I can.
Okay, provide us with that.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's a similar one with this. I say it's almost a similar one to this one. Yeah.
So now, what is the state of affairs regarding the staff in Basse? They haven't been paid for about 3 months now. Are they still coming to work? What is the mood around with respect to the staff in relation to their salaries?
It's very difficult now. To be honest, staff, you don't have control over them anymore. Because you tell them, come to work, you say, you owe me salaries. And it's very difficult, even for us who are just joining them. 3 months, it's getting to 3 months, we're not paid. And you see, as if you are a leader, sometimes, even last time, what I withdraw every month to go to Basse, it's just too much. Last time, even my wife will say, you will not send me money again because I'm spending too much money. And you have to spend, because people have to come and tell you certain things. There are things that you can ignore, but there are things, it's really difficult in Basse.
Are they coming to work?
Yes, they are coming, but some are coming, but some are not coming. Because there was some staff will say that if you don't pay me, they will not come. And you cannot force them to work. And most especially, even sometimes the cleaning services, myself and chairman will have to use extra money to motivate them so that they will come to work. And if they don't come, if the cleaning service is absent for one single day, the whole town will notice it because everything will be messy. So at some point, you have to use your personal money, you understand, to be able to motivate them to come to work. Otherwise, it's a problem.
How about in the area of revenue collectors?
The same thing. The revenue collectors will say they don't have fuel to go to collect. Some of them will say they don't have fares to go to the Lumo. So Basa is a problem.
Sorry. Mr. Sala,
Ma'am?
do you think it is right to use you and the chairman's personal funds to motivate staff, knowing fully well you are taking over an institution that had issues, and invariably they were also part of the problem? Is it correct?
Well, sometimes we know it's not correct, but sometimes we look at the country at first, because even at that time when we are here at the National Assembly, the revenue the cleaning service personnel did not go to work. The next hour, the dump site they screenshotted it and sent it to the chairman and said, look at how you're this, social media. So those kind of things, you cannot ignore them.
But I believe that looking at providing appropriate solutions in line with your legislation is more prudent. Yes, social media is there, but people understand that there are challenges in Basse. So it's not, you shouldn't jump when social media talks, because you know what you are doing to correct the situation.
Exactly.
So you cannot also prevent social media from talking. But then you will know that you are doing the right thing, using the right approach to redress the situation. So I just personally believe that taking your personal money does not anchor well with the rules and the regulations in terms of good governance.
Okay.
Councillor, you may proceed.
Yes, just to echo on the words of the chairperson. I mean, we have to really do our job. When people are appointed in to serve the public, there's a reason as to why it has to be you and not me, so that when you make decisions, you make professional decisions. And these professional decisions, they cannot be guided by sentiments or fear or favor or ill will or affection of any kind. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the more reason why we have problems in this country for the most part of it. Because if anyone can do your job, then everyone will be there. So at some point, just be guided by these principles, and that's it. People have the right to express their opinion, and they will always express their opinion, but you do your job. So let's proceed. Basically, regarding the staff, the mood, the environment in Basse, you have told us it is difficult to control. Is that not the case? At
Yes.
some point, you have to, in fact, spend your money, your personal money with the chairperson, which is really not feasible.
Yeah.
Wouldn't solve any problem permanently.
It wouldn't continue in fact.
Absolutely. It will not be, in fact, advisable, as the chairperson has already outlined. So now, for the month of September, has already been paid?
September?
Yes.
No, I mean July, August is not paid.
Yes, so September is very difficult.
No, it's not.
Now, what do you think is the way forward regarding solving the issue of staff salary?
Yes, yesterday, on Wednesday, I spoke to one of the FPAC committee members to see if they can make a resolution to say whether, because if government did not step in, there is no way that we can. There is no way forward. And the committee chairman, the select committee chairperson, Mr. Jame, of the local government council is not in the country. He traveled to Ghana, and we've written a request through him to FPAC so that at least they can make a resolution to help Basse Area Council. Otherwise, it's not going to be easy.
Now, let's go back to 5C. How many machines do you have that are functional?
First, when we went in, we were told 18 machines were given to collectors.
Yes.
Yes. But as at date, 2 machines were brought to my office saying that they are faulty. The one had a technical problem. The other one, a collector, I don't know, break the screen. And when we said the law, when we said what was the law, of course they said it was a verbal law, but they said if the machine breaks into your hand, you are responsible. So I wrote to the Director of Finance authorizing him to write to that particular collector to effect that payment or is deducted from his salary.
So how do you know how many machines are really operating right now?
What I know is this out of the 17 machines, that 18 machines that was given, 2 are at my office, 2. The other one has a technical problem. The other one is broken by a collector. And that one we are trying to fix because the collector because he's responsible of it, because they say it was the law that says it was, when they were receiving those machines, it was an agreement in between them that if the machine is faulty broke in your hands, you're the one responsible. Because even when I called him, he said that he put the machine and a stapling this thing inside the bag. I said, this is glasses. If you put stapling machine inside your bag, of course, you would. So he is responsible. He has to pay for it.
Now, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Council. Mr. Sala, is it Sala or Sila?
Sala.
Mr. Sala, I am a bit worried about absence from work by the collectors, the rate collectors or whatever. Don't they know those monies that they are refusing to collect are the monies that they would be paid from?
Yes. Yes.
And they took it as if it's not their business?
Yeah, sometimes you tell them, they said they don't have, some of them, they are in the Jimara or on the other place. Some of them, they will say they don't have fuel to go because over 3 months they are not paid. So.
Okay. My intervention here is, I think I am a bit on the other side of the fence when it comes to employment. If people refuse to work and it is their work that would pay them, I will stop paying them and advertise their position. That is, you sack them. If they know that this is what is there for them. Because if you don't work, you don't get paid. But if you get paid, you have to work. And if you expect to be paid, you have to work. Because the funds that you are collecting are the funds that you are going to be paid with. So for me, this, I don't have this, I don't have that. Some of us have been in employment for some period of time without being paid, but that did not stop us from coming to work. So if they don't see it that way, and they see it as a means of putting the council into ransom, you don't pay me, I don't come to work. Yes, I know, but I will take note of those who didn't come and advertise their position. Recruit somebody else to do the work, because the funds that you are going to generate or bring in are the funds that we are going to pay you guys with. So if you sit at home, nobody goes out to pay, then we will still be in the same situation that we are in. I am not in favor of cajoling them to come to work. Just tell them the plain truth. If you come to work, you go and collect the rates, we will have monies to pay you. We might not have all to pay you, but at least we will be closing the gap on a weekly or daily basis. So if they refuse to come to work, there goes their position. I think the carrot and the stick should apply.
Yes, with the revenue collectors, we don't have, with the office staff at the office, we had a time book, like on your registration. So even if like some of them are deducted 10 days, 5 days, like if the month of July and August, and even September respectively, some staff are deducted serious, because with the number of days you come, that's the number of days we paid you. But those revenue collectors, they are posting in their various respective areas. You don't see them. Sometimes you would even call them, they will never come. They will say, we don't have transport, we don't have fuel, we don't have that. So it's just, but with the staff that are in in our control at the office, we are deducting them seriously.
No, but the revenue collectors are under your control. And I think if it comes to the crunch, you could do an assessment of their needs and maybe talk to one of the banks and say, look, we know we owe you, or we know we don't owe you, but this is our situation. We need to give these people fuel to go and do their work so that we will be able to pay you, as opposed to just sitting and not doing anything and being held to ransom by the rate collectors by saying, I don't have fuel, I cannot come.
You mean we go to the bank for an overdraft?
Yes, because that's the means of them getting paid.
I don't think with this situation, we will encourage.
No, I think you have not sold your case to the bank properly, or to the banks properly.
No, you know, when we fall, we have first we said when we came in, we said that we will consolidate all our accounts and have one particular account with Trust Bank, and Trust Bank will give us an overdraft or a loan to settle all those ones. Then we continue. But later on, you know, now we cannot have that because it has to go to the ministry. Ministry will have to, because personally, me, I will. If it goes to the ministry, it will. First, it will go to the General Council, then General Council will endorse, it goes to the ministry. But even that, we couldn't agree even at General Council level to say that we will go in for a facility to offset all, to consolidate all our accounts and have one and have another loan on top so that we will be able to clear those ones. And once we paid, that was the first idea we had. Like when we had maybe 15 or 18 million, we will be able to pay all our debts now, and we will be left with 3 million. Then we will assign the market, because the market we found out there 246 stores. Out of that, 91 stores were not given. All were closed during our time. They were allocated, but not unfunctional. So when we came in, we found out that it's a loss of revenue. Why should we close all these 91 stores out of the 246 stores that was in the market? And some of them, they will be issued with a store, 6 months they wouldn't pay. What we did was we wrote a memo on top of those doors to say that if you don't pay at a particular time, you will forfeit. And that's what we are doing. Now that, you know, and we are working together with the commission, with the governor, because they were the one who allocated, and we cannot, council alone cannot do it, because we want to be very transparent in issuing those canteens. So we have the list of numbers, and we are receiving applications to reallocate those 91 canteens.
Yes, Mr. Sala, are you aware of the Local Government Finance and Audit Act of 2004?
Very well, ma. It's my tool.
Yes. So let me refer you to Section 12.
Yes.
This is in furtherance to what Commissioner Joyner has just alluded to. Section 12 says, subject to the provisions of this Act and any other Act, each council has autonomy over its financial matters, excluding salary allowances and other emoluments. So therefore, it is my understanding that you have the prerogative to look at how you can raise money to clear your debts and to start afresh. And that will depend on what strategy you use, because the provisions of the law are telling you that you have, you are autonomous in making sure that you have your finances, you understand, the way and manner in which it will be suitable for the running of your council. Is that not the case? Okay, ma, noted. Yes, so what Mr. Joyner was telling you is that it's not when an institution messes up and runs to government. Government has its own problems to grapple with. But then it is now left for those people appointed to think outside of the box as to how to remedy the situation. So that is where you are now. Is that not the case? Yes. All right. Now, when you came in, were you given an assessment of what, were you given an update? Because I have perused the report, but I haven't seen where it is stated that the first and the second quarter, this is how much you generated as income, and this is what is anticipated to be generated, and this is the arrears, because I believe you are guided by the Licensing Act of 2011 for Basse Area Council. I don't know whether it is amended or not.
No, all we received last that, as you can see on those handing over notes,
Yes.
even some of them, after when we did the handing over, like if you look at the last page, it was sent to us after when those are the total areas for Alkalos Commission. We were never given out the total amount of, because in fact, that would have been the Director of Finance, because the Director of Finance handed over to the Director of Finance, and I took over from the CEO. But even we are on closer contact, because even to say how much money was received and the areas, we never received that. We never received those informations. And if you talk to them, they will say that yes, the areas are there. But when in real terms, because what we did was, we had a task force. We introduced a task force to go on collection. We used councillors to assist us, just because we wanted to be very transparent. And for a piece.
Sorry, before you proceed, is it correct to use councillors to collect tax?
No, councillors.
Your act?
No, they don't collect.
Yes.
They don't. Councillors don't collect, but they accompany our collectors.
But is that also correct for them to accompany the tax collectors to go and collect? These are elected members who
it's
have
not
specific.
good for them. It's not good for them as councillors, but it could be for a transparency purpose. Because now that if you were in Basse, people lost peace building confidence in the staffs.
But you see, when you start talking about peace building and all this thing, I think everything that you do ought to be guided by what your rules and your regulations and the Act is saying. So that tomorrow, when you are audited, you are able to account for. Because when it is not the business of the councillor to go on the ground to accompany a tax collector, it should not be his business. Okay. Because if you put in place the necessary mechanisms to counter-check, because the reason why I ask you the question, whether you receive information, because you have a licensing act that guides you on your charges, and you make assessment, you have made a projection, you have a budget. So obviously you are aware of how much you are supposed to generate as income. For the previous year, you know how much arrears you have. And for the first and second quarter should give you an informed idea of what to anticipate. Because you also have the data of what to collect on your lines of revenue.
Yes.
You know, you have that,
yes.
Don't you?
Yes, we have.
So you are able to make projections. So for me, I don't believe that you should use the wrong people to do the right thing. All right?
Okay.
Yes. So my question is, for the 2011 Licensing Act, it outlined, you understand, the fees, yes, that you charge.
Yes.
Is that one amended?
To 2011, yes, I think it's amended.
Is amended?
Yes.
Do you have the copy of the amended?
Yes, I gave it to the collectors. I have the one that is signed by something Tamba, the then Minister of Local Government. I think that's the latest one we had.
Use the mic.
Use the mic.
I think the latest one we had was the one signed by Per Tamba, and that one is, I think I supplied it to the Commission through Lamin Toure or one of the collectors. But we have the original one.
We will cross-check.
Yes, we have the.
So I believe that is working with your data will help inform what decisions you will take because you have the financial autonomy to take decisions that can bind the council when it comes to financial activities. So that is my take with respect to the issue of the overdraft facilities, etc. Council, you may proceed.
Yes.
Sorry, may I just elaborate on my previous statement regarding the rate collectors? As I've said, they should be made known that the fees or the rates that they are going to collect are the amounts that are going to be paid to them. So they should be mindful of that. And the reason why I'm coming in now is to further elaborate on the fact that I think a meeting or whatever you should try and talk to your rate collectors that they risk losing their jobs if they don't come to work, and those that come to work will be remunerated adequately for coming to the rescue of the council.
Council has limited to employment in terms of recruitment of staffs, because it used to be grade 1 to grade 3 can be recruited by the council through the establishment committee. Then the rest is appointed by the service commission. And we have written, because we found out that they requested for a budget officer, finance officer, almost is getting to 1 year.
Mr. Salah, I'm talking about those that are bringing in money.
Yes.
That is the rate collectors.
Yes.
Which grade are they in?
Some of the rate collectors, they are more than grade 3.
Now, there's a lot of unemployment now.
Yeah.
Why not make it accessible for those people who are not employed to come up to a starting grade of grade 3, where you can have a decision over. If they know they are going to collect and will be paid, well and good. Those who are staying out loses their job. You cannot just be talking about a budget officer. Those are not bringing in money. Those are people who are going to spend money. Those who are bringing the monies are the rate collectors. They are the ones you should be focusing on now, so that you can have money to pay the banks, to pay your liabilities off, and even the 5C guy who is at times hold you guys to ransom for not paying their quota of the contract. So the thing is, the starting point, I believe, should be with the rate collectors. Give them an ultimatum. You come to work, fine. You don't come to work, bye-bye to your job. Because it has to be made clear to them, because they don't want job. So many people are out of work in Basse. And some of them are highly educated. They've gone up to grade 12. They can use the machine. They can go and collect. They know the area very well. So if those guys are playing hard to get, also you play hardball with them. The carrot and the stick. You come to work, you pay. You don't come to work, you're fired.
Mr. Salah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just asking some basic questions. Now, when you realize that the contract between 5C and Basse Area Council was incomplete, I don't want to use another word that might not be good enough. What did you do? You found out that the contract was inadequate. It was not what you expected. What did you do at the time?
Yes, we've organized a meeting with Akim. We met him at Ozonbe, where he stays, with the IT personnel, and he promised that he was going to send the information to us. But even whereas he sent those informations, he's more particular on the payments now, because he says when we visited him, he told us, he gave us the briefing of that, but the sharing we told him, when we had the meeting with him, he said that he was going to send the documents to us, but that has not been done.
Which documents? The
contract, the total contract agreement he made with, because he was emphasizing that the contract document is in the office. But what we saw was, because when we gave it the assurance that all the documents are in the office. But when we went back after meeting him, when we went back to the office, we found out the contracts, it did not give us what we wanted. And since that time, when we called him, he always called, send emails about payments. Then I think there was a time that he himself and the chairman had a meeting. Then we were not there, and that was the time that amount was paid to him. So, but I think from here we'll have to revisit. That is why I said we have to reorganize our partners. Some of them we have to enter into another partnership again with them, because we know very well that the amount of revenue that is stated for a sharing profit is not realistic.
So, Mr. Silla, why should it be difficult for 5C to give you their documentation and or their agreement if you find that what you find in the office is not sufficient?
No,
if the agreement is not fishy between the 5C and the council?
I'm not saying, because what we were told was the document, because of course they have signed those documents,
yes,
and with the previous management.
Yes.
And what we understand, when he gave us the assurance that the documents are in the office.
So before you proceed, the document you found in the office, is that the authentic document that the previous administration signed with 5C?
Well, if that is the document, me personally, I will not go into a contract with a contractor. Because that is what he is saying, that was the document.
During your meeting with 5C, the representative, did you request to have a copy, the one he has, so that you can cross-check that with the one?
Yes, at some point he said that he was going to send the documents, but he did not.
Then you do the follow-up and send because if you need to renegotiate the terms, you must be able to have the document and be clear about what the terms and conditions are.
Okay.
All right? Yes. Yes.
Now, the other point is about the machines. When you are ready. Yes, about the machines.
Yes.
According to your explanation, there were 19 machines supplied.
18, we found.
18?
Yeah.
You have 2 in your office?
Yes.
What is happening to the balance of the machines, the 16?
I think they're with collectors. They are with the collectors.
They are with the collectors?
Yes.
Okay, because my worry here is, I'm trying to understand what is happening. One, it seems in my view, I could be wrong, that upon your arrival, you decided to put the machines aside and then you are doing your own system of collection. You mentioned something like that, didn't you?
We collect outside the machine?
Yes, something like that. You said that you use an Excel, not so.
No, that is a reporting aspect. We never go against collecting.
No, wait, I'm just trying to have it clear. You use an Excel to get your daily collection. Are you understanding me?
Yes, I'm getting
now, and then you try to synchronize that and then use the machine system too. I was just trying to see that in case you were collected outside the machine, then it would have been a crisis stage. But once that didn't happen, that's fine, that's okay.
We never use against.
No, that's okay, that's
okay.
Yes. All right.
Just a second. Is your IT personnel monitoring those machines that are with the rate collectors and are not coming to work? Are those machines being used?
Yes.
Those other 16, are they being used?
Yes, we are monitoring. In fact, now we said those ones at the market, those machines at the market, when they close, they hand over to the market mistress and it will be charged in the office. Then in the morning, each and every of collectors will come and receive and go to work.
Okay.
So the collectors that are quote unquote on strike because they have not been paid, where are their machines?
No, I think it is most of the laborers, most of the other guys. They wouldn't say that they are not going on strike. They would say they don't have transport or they don't have fuel to go to work.
Yeah, my concern is, are they using those machines? Have you monitored that those machines are not being used, or can you disable those machines until they bring it back to the council?
You know, the machines, when they use them, the IT department will know that this machine is being used. We are getting information on those.
Okay, thank you.
I hand you over to councillors. I would wish to refer you to the Act, the Local Government Finance and Audit Act of 2004, Section 14, 15. Yes, Section 14 and 15. I believe that these provisions of the Finance and Audit Act if you are conversant with what they provide for, can help resolve some of your issues.
Okay.
Chairperson, may I just assist?
Yes.
Those provisions were repealed.
Eh?
They've been repealed by the Public Finance Act.
What is the amendment?
The Public Finance Act,
Yes.
2014.
Yes.
Let me just look for the provision.
Okay, let me just
Section
ask you this.
77 of the
Yeah.
Public Finance Act,
Yes, can you
2014.
take us through that?
So it says, subsection 1, under repeal and saving. Subsection 1, the Local Loans Act, the General Loan and Stock Act, and the Government Budget Management and Accountability Act are repealed. Subsection 2 says sections 14 and 15 of the Local Government Finance and Audit Act, and sections 8 and 17(2) of the Public Enterprises Act are deleted.
And delete it. Okay.
Yeah.
So which means, in fact, you are most guided under Section 12 of the Act, which gives you a total autonomy, because Section 14 and 15, of the Finance and Audit Act were giving you the opportunity to borrow money, have overdrafts, you understand, when you pass through the ministry. But being corrected by council, it says these two provisions are repealed, which means you have, I could say, autonomy to really deal with financial issues and resolve some of these problems without waiting for the ministry to intervene. That is the crux of my intervention.
Okay, ma'am.
That is to say, you are guided by legislation to allow you to take action to resolve these issues.
Okay.
All right?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
So just to add on what the chairperson is saying, there's provisions under the Public Finance Act in relation to borrowing for local government authorities. So sections 53, 54, 55 relate to borrowing by local government authorities. So maybe look at the provisions and advise yourself.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Council. Yes, you may proceed.
Yes, so let's now move to,
I apologize. I wanted to ask something. Your grading system, in terms of positions, is it the same as the central government one?
Yes.
So grade 3 in the local government service would be the same as grade 3 in central government?
Yes.
Now, so in that case, I would also, you said some of your revenue collectors are on grade 3?
Yes, some are more than great.
Some are more than 3, but some are 3?
Yes.
Are any above 5?
Pardon me?
Are any of your revenue collectors above grade 5?
Yes, some are more than grade 5.
Okay, so for those that are below grade 5, I would also recommend that you look at the financial regulations,
Yes.
2016, and section 45, sorry, regulation 45. So for the assistance of the commission, it provides that, it defines what a revenue collector is. And one says a revenue collector means any officer, cashier, sub-treasury accounts officer, or finance attaché who is required to receive or collect money, whether as revenue, deposit, or for any other purpose. And sub-regulation 2 says an officer shall not act as a revenue collector unless he or she holds a post on grade 5 or above grade 5, except as may be authorized by the Accountant General in writing in a case of emergency. So I think that should guide what grade your revenue collectors should be starting from. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And
Appreciate it.
Before Patrick, you comment. The issue is, I had you reply to Commissioner Joyner with respect to the fact that you may not have control over the staff, which I totally disagree, because if they are above the grade level that are being appointed at the council level, if they are appointed by the Service Commission, I believe as a council you could write detailing what steps you believe you could take against a personnel who is refusing to come to work because of one reason or the other, for action to be taken. And then that will guide you as to what subsequent action to take, because they are responsible. So you will be sending the ball to in their quarters for them to take the necessary action. So you cannot sit in the council and say you are helpless because the workers don't want to work. How much unemployment is in this country? So if people don't want to work, there are rules and regulations. The Labor Act is here. You follow due process, and then you proceed on dealing with the people that don't want to work, because it's not your making that they cannot have salary.
Exactly.
Is it your making? And
No.
they are aware that it's not your making.
Exactly.
So you put things in perspective and follow the due process of the law. If they need to be terminated, just like what my colleagues say, you terminate their service, pay them their dues. Look for money and pay them their dues, and off they are gone. So that you get people who would be responding to what you want to be done.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Council, you may proceed.
Alkalos commissions. Now we know they help the area councils to collect revenue. Do you understand? Sir?
Yes.
Yes, so I'm talking about the commissions paid to Alkalos in helping or assisting the area councils to collect revenue.
Yes.
Now, what do you know about these commissions that are paid to the Alkalos? How much is the commission and how are they being paid?
You know, commissions, if you look at the handing over note,
Yes.
where it is stated that commission to Alkalos, money collected by Alkalos, deposit in our accounts and are due to be paid for commissions, are still not paid, amounting to 64,000 some hundreds, 132.
No, first, how much are they paid? Is it a
10%,
percentage?
10%, yes.
Yes.
10%.
So do you know, just tell us briefly the nature of the agreement, whether it's formal, informal agreement, how much per percentage do you pay to them, how is it being paid, and now what is the current situation regarding the areas? Just tell us.
I think it's by act, it's in the act that Alkalos are subjected to receive commissions as they collect per their village. And what we did was, most of these Alkalos, when they pay to the accounts, they pay to our accounts, and when they bring in the receipts, they were supposed to be given their commissions. But for instance, during the time of that overdraft, this thing, when they deposit those monies, of course it will sink. So you cannot, there is no way that you can pay them. If you give them a check, it will go. And we know we are not paying by cash. So that is why that amount goes up to 64,000.
Now, let's discuss other issues that probably you did not capture in your statement. These are, number one, the issue regarding the housing of the or the compound of the finance director, CEO, and the chairperson. So now currently, when you took over, what was the state of the housing that you found in relation to the residence of the finance director, the CEO, and the chairperson? What was the structure you found?
Yes, when we took over, the very day we took over, we were told that the finance director is residence outside the council, and we were told that they were paying 115,000. I said, "Is
Did you say 115,000 or 150,000?
115?
15 a year.
Yeah."
Okay.
I said to my director of finance, I said, "We cannot afford to pay 115,000 per year because that's equally paid in combo. So if you want, you can join me for the meantime until we regularize issues." And he agreed. But you know, at some point we said that for him and myself, you know, we cannot stay for certain time. So I said, you have to look for a house more reasonable. And now he got a house outside, and he's paying $3,000 per month.
So you are saying the amount of money that was paid for the finance director in a year was just too
$115,000 per year. That was too much.
So you're saying that's the same amount that you find in the combos. So
Yes.
the amount will be on the high side.
Exactly.
Now, but don't you have a residence that the council owns that they can really stay in, aside from renting?
Yes, we had one facility, but that one, of course, we went there before we went.
We had or we have?
We have.
Yes.
Yes, we have one, but when we went there, that place needs to be renovated. It will take some certain amount, and also there was an agreement in between them and GMPC that they will want to build a shopping mall. There will be a petrol station sort of. I think we are last time, Chairman, we were going to negotiate with them if government did not come in, that we will go into a leasing agreement with GMPC so that they will give us some certain funds and that they will build a shopping mall for us, and that we will collect the this thing.
So there's already a compound.
Yes.
That is the property of the area council.
Yes.
Do you know how many rooms or apartments are there?
It's 2 room and a parlor. We went there.
Two
Two
rooms
room and
and
a
a parlor.
parlor, and there are other single room that other people are staying.
And it was meant for
the director of finance.
For director of finance.
Yes.
And how about the CEO?
Yeah,
CEO's residence?
the CEO's residence. That's where I'm staying presently.
As well?
Yes, as well.
And how about the chairperson?
No, the chairperson, I think, stays in his. He's a native of Basse. He stays in Basse. But what I understand, I was told that they rented a property for him, but that was captured in the audit report. In fact, it was through the audit report we were aware that another their council is paying a house rent for the then chairman in Abuku. Through the audit reports, we got those information. So when we ask, because first I asked the procurement officer, I said, I think you people were the one responsible for this house. He said he knew nothing about it. Then I asked Yaya, whoever you ask about that house, you will not get information. But we were told that council furnished the house, we were told, and the council was paying for the monthly rent. But it's come at a certain time that I think council owe them, so I think the landlord took the furnitures. I wouldn't know, but maybe if they come, they can be able to set lights on those ones. But that's the only thing I know on that house.
You were saying that you think that the landlord sold the furniture?
Yes.
Or perhaps maybe used the furniture for his own personal use?
Yes.
So as of now, that's all you know about the residence of the chairman of Basse Area Council as of then, regarding the housing at Abuko. Is there a way that you can find more information regarding this particular residence in Abuko? Since currently you are the acting CEO.
I asked the procurement officer, whom I know should be responsible for the procurement of the furniture inside that house. But when I asked him, he said he have no idea.
Did you consult the former CEO?
The former CEO, no. I did not consult. For the former CEO, since I took over, previously we were communicating. After 2 weeks, I called him, he is not picking my call. Every day I call, he will not pick up. And I stopped calling him because you call somebody, he does not pick your call. And somebody will tell him that it's just now that I was just talking from him. I said, if I call him the next minute, he will not pick my call. So I stopped calling. Even the audit queries that we had, some of them we had to write to say that these were the makings, let them help us answer those questions. But they wouldn't respond. So we sent it to audit, and audit said, it was only Suso who said at some point that if we want him to come, he will come, but ministry has to authorize that because he is on administrative leave. But with the CEO, we cannot get him. I cannot get him. I have been calling him on several times, but he does not pick my call.
Thank you. Yes, any questions?
As part of the report that I think, yes, we have admitted it in evidence. You've talked about the issue of the lumos, and I have noted that even Sundays there are some areas within the council that have lumos on Sundays. So, and this is a continuous thing because you have Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. this is the days you have lumos in different areas
Yes.
within the region.
Yes.
And now, how do you grapple with the lack of sufficient staff to do the collection?
You know, the lumo, we have some lumo.
Given the fact that you have possibility of generating a lot of income from the lumos.
Yes, with the lumo collection, it's very low now, because some of them, as I alluded in the first time, that some of them are not going to work. But what we did was we said, okay, even them, they are saying that the revenue trust bank. When we had these accounts, when we opened these accounts, when we closed the other accounts, we said that we're using a trust bank as our revenue account. We use Supersonic and Realance account as receiving account. So that if you are a collector at Fototo, Fototo has Lumo. If you are at Fototo, you will not travel all the way to Basse only to deposit 1,000 or 1,500. You will deposit in our receiving account. On a weekly basis, we transfer from our receiving account to our revenue account. That's what we did. And we use Supersonic and Realance as receiving account, so that at any point you cannot travel with that amount to come to Basse just to deposit 100, just to deposit even $5,000, using our revenues to that. So when you have at Fototo, from the Fototo Lumo, you can just go to Supersonic or to Realance and deposit. Bajakunda and Zarengai, the same thing. That's what we did. But until at the end of the week, we transfer those funds from our revenue, from the receiving accounts to our revenue accounts.
Now, given the fact that you are having some financial challenges, what is happening with your schools, the support you give to schools?
Support we give, even though if you look at
that is the needy students.
Yes,
you've highlighted.
Yes, we've not given them support but during the president's award scheme, the award this thing, we supported them, because it's not that we still have some balance in our trust bank account for operational costs, because you can see 2,320,000 something, and we paid 288,000 out of that. Those are the revenues that we receive personally, but and those are the amounts, because we paid almost 20 something or 18,000 to transport 21 students to attend the award of the president's award scale, this thing.
No, my issue here is that
on scholarship,
on the sponsorship issue.
No, since we started, we did not.
But don't you think it is necessary, since you have some little bit of amount of money, that you sustain that for the development of those needy students?
Well, we'll look at it, but actually our decision, our reason of keeping this, because with this 2 million we cannot touch it. So now that we had 322,612, we were saying that if we can pay part of the salaries for July, that was our plan.
That is priority.
Yes, that was what we are planning. So at least this will cover at least.
I am just raising this issue as to highlight the fact that
it's our mandate.
It can be one of the priorities, because it's the beginning of the academic year.
Yes.
If not, you will have a lot of students that will not be able to go to school. Since you were supporting them previous years, they cannot further their education, and also this will also have an impact into the socio-economic development of the citizens of that region. So it is in that line that I am highlighting it to you, to be one of your priorities, because of course the fundamental priority is the salaries of those people that you have employed to do the work for you.
Exactly.
Yes, Council, you may proceed.
Just last quick question on my side, I believe, is with respect to the committees of council. When you assumed office, did you find any active committee on the ground?
Well, I wouldn't say, but us, we've established.
No, not what you've established. I am more concerned about the period under review. Like when you took over, did you find these committees being functional or active?
No, I wouldn't say whether they're functional because I wasn't there. But when we came in, it was the time that we formed the committee.
Which committees did you form?
Establishment committee, development subcommittee, finance subcommittee, contract committee, and I think I have even their lists all here.
So in the handover notes, you were not informed about the state of these committees.
No.
So why would you not say it is not functional?
Maybe they were functional, but we are not aware. Anyway, I'm not aware, to be honest.
No, if it was functional, you would have find existing committees there. Is that not the case?
Yeah.
If they even exist. Ms. Salah?
Yes.
I'm saying if it was functional, you would have found them existing. Because there would be records to kind of establish that you have the finance committee. For example, the auditor highlighted that the finance committee, development committee, did you find any development committee?
No.
How about contracts committee?
Yes, there was contract committee.
Yes, on paper, but we know that were you available with any minutes?
No, we know. It's even in the 2021, 2022.
Agricultural subcommittee?
Audit reports. Those ones are even in the audit queries.
I am reading to you the audit report.
Yes.
How about agricultural subcommittee?
No.
Educational committee?
No.
And the Children's Council committee?
No. I'm not aware of all
So you found none on the ground?
Yes, I'm not aware of those committees.
Right, thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes.
Can I ask a question? Mr. Sala, have you noticed any improvement in terms of revenue collection since you took over office?
Yes, very well. Because when we took over, we've found out at the market, the total amount collected on a daily basis was 1,000. It wouldn't pass 2,000, 2,500. And that was the reason we said we want to change the management of the market. So we make some reshufflement. We've appointed now. We designate another market mistress, and when that happened, we have realized that at least 4,000, 5,000 on a daily basis. Sometimes it goes up to $10,000, $7,000 on daily market. Because I think that is why we are able to have at least over 500,000 in our account that we worked for for the council. We are really improving. On a daily basis, when we collect it.
Okay.
Now that our daily revenue.
The 500,000 you're talking about is covering what period?
Let's say from July to date. It's far more than that. We can give you those details. We can give you those amounts of the income statements because we prepared the income and the expenditure statements from July to date. I think from July to September 14th, we've got that statements. We've done that, even attached to bank statements. We can have it. Also, this is what I wanted to say also.
Now, please tell us what reforms you've done in the finance department. You and the finance director.
Yeah, we've made some changes. We said we moved the market supervisor. We've appointed a new market headmistress now, and one of the monthly canteen collector also is been moved as a revenue collector. Then the guy who was also collecting at market daily is now responsible for monthly canteen rents. And we have seen the improvements because we've seen improvement that every month this amount, at least now we are knowing that every month we are getting this amount. Because the reason sometimes some of the canteen owners have paid almost the whole year. they will say they've paid, and some of them they said you go, they will say they've paid, but now that woman, because he's strict, some of them they say they do go for masla, but she's really trying, and we have seen improvement on the collection of both on the daily canteen and the monthly canteen rents. We're seeing improvements.
And
and that was due to the money changes we've done.
Now, what is the rate of collection with respect to institutional fees?
Institutional fees, apart from we were told, apart from MRC now, I think all institutions have paid, except and also trust bank, Gamtel and Gamcel, because Gamtel and Gamcel we still cannot pay because they also complain of financial crisis. But with MRC, there was an assessment made to their properties, but it didn't go in line, and that was the reason why they said they cannot pay, because the evaluator that was contracted to do the evaluation was not authorized by the ministry, and for them, they said that it has to be signed by the ministry so that they become an authenticated document, so that they will pay as per given by the evaluator. But now that we have to agree onto the amount of what they were paying previously until we regularize.
That is what is provided for in the License Gazette order for 2011.
Yes.
And I believe that you've got data as to some of the licenses and the taxes that are yearly paid, the number of arrears you have in that area. You have that data?
Yes. The number of arrears that they have?
Yes.
Yes.
The arrears they have.
I think yes, we have.
You have that data?
Yes, we have the data.
So you are able to make projections. You are able to know if you collect those arrears,
yes,
how it can accelerate
exactly our revenue,
the budget,
yes,
deficit.
Yes, we know. Yes.
Yes. Any question?
Mr. Sala, you talked about something that is very dear to my heart, and that is confidence building meetings and sensitization activities. You said you need to organize. That's your statement.
Yes.
Have you started organizing
Yes.
this confidence building
Exactly.
with the
community?
With the community.
Yes, we've done that.
And how is their response?
Yes, I think that from then on, that is why some of them are complying to pay even rates and tax.
Okay. So you think you are making some headway?
Exactly.
In that,
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Now, you've talked about the issue of loans you have from projects that were implemented.
Yes.
So you highlighted the companies that you owe money to.
Yes.
And this amounts to 1,216,729.23.
Yes. Yes.
And how are you servicing these loans from these projects? Because you said Longin, you have a balance of 244,865.29. Golden Quarry Limited, you have 756,392. And Longin, which is the project for Sambalolo, you have 209,480.94 bututs.
Yes.
And you have, yes, these are the amounts that are outstanding. So for these projects, when you came on board, were you able to visit these projects to see the level of execution of these projects, whether it's in accordance with the documents, with the project documents they contracted with the council?
No, we did not visit any of the projects.
So then how would you justify paying these amounts if you don't know the status of these projects? as per the contracts awarded?
For these contracts, what we say, is this golden quarry, they came to the office. And what we told
They are
them,
the ones that did the Sarebojo feeder road, right?
yes. Yeah, with the Sarebojo feeder road, we've been to Sarebojo, to the Lumo, to check.
And what is the state of execution of that project?
Well, we are not technicians of road construction, but I think
General assessment, because I believe that you will do general assessment and you will do technical assessment to ascertain whether the monies expended on those projects, you understand, are money for value. Value for money, sorry.
yes, to my understanding, the Sarebojo road is not to that extent standard, to be honest, because I have we have passed the. It cannot stay more than 2 years now or 3. It cannot, because you have poles all over.
What was it? Was it a laterite road or was it a backfill gravel?
It's gravel.
Backfill gravel.
Yes, backfill gravel.
And it was supposed to be compact.
Yes.
What was the guarantee that was given?
No, we don't even look at. We don't even have that distinct contract. Because when we are told when we asked for the contract files, we are told that the contract files is submitted to the commission here.
The contract files.
Mm-hmm.
We will look at that. We will get back to you on that. Yes. Any other question?
Sure. Mrs. Sala, you said you rotated the market mistress.
Yes.
Who was the previous market mistress?
Our champ.
Our champ.
Yes.
Do you know how long she was in that position?
No, I wouldn't know.
But since she moved, you had an increase of revenue in the market.
Yes, we have.
Where was she moved to?
We have. She's now a revenue collector for Basse, where the market mistress is now. She's going with Suleiman Ba to collect revenues, rates and tax for Basse.
And is there any improvement in the area that she's collecting revenue and taxes from now?
Yes, for Basse, Basse is divided into Basse Node and Basse, but now almost Basse Node have already completed. Now that we are entering the reassessment now, we're going to start that by this week. As soon as I go, we develop a template, a format, whereas collectors will, the assessment will be done, even the contact numbers. Because otherwise, if that does not exist, the revenue collectors can sit in their houses and do the assessment. But now that the form we developed, there will be a telephone number, so that at a glance we will also, if you said that you have assessed this village, we will call that land, that particular businessman or that particular land, to say that whether this guy has arrived or not. Because at that time maybe that template was not available, so that at least you couldn't verify. But I'm sure at the end of the assessment we will be able to know at least the revenue base for Basse Area Council.
Now, Mr. Sala, how competent are these revenue collectors to do the assessment?
Well, these revenue collectors, the qualification for these revenue collectors, I wouldn't, because we were looking at the files, and to be honest, some of them, the capacity is too low. Yeah, but now that we wanted to buy the idea with Brikama Area Council, because they are volunteers. We have some volunteers who are willing to come on board through the chairman, and that they will support our revenue collectors. It's on the pipeline. That's what we want to introduce. Maybe we'll launch it.
Do you have guidelines as to how to do this assessment? Because we have gotten evidence here that the collectors will go to a particular business entity and look at the shop, whether it's full or, halfway full or scanty, and they make assessment as to how much revenue the business person can pay. do you think that is sustainable and that is proper? The form of assessment you are using?
No, I think the way they do the assessment here, it's not sustainable, because when I was in Senegal, you know, one of my friends worked with the municipalities. For them, what they do is they will when they want to assess a shop, because the shop will have to pay the monies to the bank from the cash flow of the shop. That's what they do. That's what they use to assess. But here they will just come look at the shop. If it is big, they just say, look at the tariff. They at above 100,000 to this amount, above this amount. But I think it would have been proper to use the cash flow system as the amount of money that those shops deposit to banks. That's what they use in Senegal to assess make assessment. I think that. Yeah. But here they just go to the shop and look at it and say you are supposed to pay 5,000, and they wrote right in there this in 5,000. That's right. But in real time, sometimes it's not fair to the customer. Sometimes it's not realistic anyway.
Yes. And how would you deal with the above assessment or under assessment based on the act guiding the fees payable? How do you deal with that?
You know, the assessment, personally for us as management, we don't go to the field because it's not in our mandates. But we designate collectors, and sometimes now that we have introduced an inspectorate unit in the council, who is supporting us very well, because at some point there are shops that have claimed to pay, and when we introduce this inspectorate unit, it's giving us dividend, because at least it goes down to the level. Even contractors now, he's even following contractors that are within the Basse who have never paid revenue and are now registering and are paying.
Now let me just take you to the Licensing Act amendment of the second schedule for the 2011, which Basse Area Council is using. Take for example large-scale general traders, wholesale stroke retail. They said business with goods value class A, that is 500,000 and above, you ought to pay 5,000. But then how do you assess that the goods in the shop are 500,000 and above?
Yeah,
how would you understand, have the evidence and proof that the goods in the shop are 500 and above?
Yeah, this is what I was explaining to, that the method is not sustainable. Like if it is changed, but that one has to be gazetted, but like if you can have another format of saying that but here people don't go in for, maybe if it was like done in a cash flow system, I think that would have guided us, so that we will know that this amount of money, that's what you have, that's your yearly transaction.
As CEO, don't you think that is part of your responsibility to review some of these things, forward it to the ministry for implementation?
Yes, we will put our recommendations. We are very new in the. We are putting.
I'm just telling you. You are giving us example. I said, is it not part of your responsibility?
Exactly. We had lot of recommendations to do. Even we found out that even in Basse, councillors are receiving. Councillors, you have the nominated and the elected councillors, and the act is telling us the councillors has mandate to have 1,500 transport, and $1,000 on ward allowance, and $4,000 as your allowances. But in Basse, they have added all the allowances and calculated the 50% or the 30% on top. So they don't categorize. Even the elected councillors receive the same amount as the nominated councillors. If you see my reports, I stated there.
At which what?
where I say salaries, it is also noted that there are some differences in the payment of allowance for councillors.
What page is that, please?
Sorry, I did not number the 1, 2,
Which
3. Liability, just after the
is it
payroll
the
and
handing over
establishment.
Fourth page.
Fourth page, yes.
Okay, this one. Yes.
Like here, in the act is telling us, because we received correspondence from the ministry, and indicating the allowances for elected and nominated councillors. And we have not received any correspondence from the ministry as to add the 30% salary increment to councillors. All they do was a resolution was passed.
What is provided for in the act with respect to the councillor? Is it salary or is it allowance?
Yeah, there is allowance. That is why it's non-tax. They have an allowance of 4,000 plus transport allowance 1,500 plus ward allowance 1,000. So that is the allowance allocated. But even the 30%, it was not informed. We did not receive correspondence from the ministry as to add the 30%. But in Bassa Area Council, they added all the allowances and calculated the 30%. So that is why each councillor is getting 8,000 plus instead of 6,500 yuan. So, but we will write to our line ministers. And that is why I said we will work it out to the right figure.
Mr. Salah, can I just ask, the 30% increase, that is for government staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
The councillors are not staff.
Exactly. That is why in the council I come from, we never pay 30%.
Okay. So you've written to the ministry in this regard?
No, not yet, but we will write, because we will write to the
How
ministry.
long have you been in Bassa Area Council?
2 months now.
Don't you think it was a matter of urgency that you would have written, because these are monies that are going to be expended, and if they are not in line with the rules or the law, you understand, they might be subject to refund this money.
Yes,
You know that?
Exactly.
So I think it is, as a matter of urgency, you deal with the issue.
Yes, I will do that. That is why I figured a similar report was sent to the ministry indicating, but you will send reports to ministry, they will not respond.
So when Bassa Area Council staff were not paid salaries, were the councillors paid?
No, none of them were paid.
And do you know whether the General Council has been sitting since January?
Yeah, since we came in, we had 2 general council meetings during our time, because we're supposed to sit every month once. So since we came in, we had 2 general council meetings.
Okay,
And that was the one. The first one we did was to establish all the committees, and the second one, like that.
So there were no committees established before you came in?
No, it was when we came in we introduced those committees.
So
through the chairman.
Committees are paid sitting allowances, right?
Yes.
So do you know whether any sitting allowances were paid from January to July?
No, that was not the ones that we attended. We told them, because when we started the meeting, we announced that we are only giving you breakfast, lunch, and refreshment. That's what we did, because we said that because of the financial crisis, and it's a budget, so we have to, and they understood.
No, but what I want to know is, from January, because you would have the records, right? From January to July, when you took over, were any sitting allowances paid to committee members?
No, I'm not aware. No, it's not paid. That is why, if in the end handing over, we are still having a lot of allowances to pay in the handing over. Most of them, they had sitting allowances, so and they are part of the handing over.
Why I'm asking is because you said that there were no committees before you came.
Yeah.
So if there were no committees, that means there were no sittings, and if there were no sittings, there would be no sitting allowances. So what sitting allowances are they claiming for?
Yeah, I wouldn't know, because those ones in the handing over, they stated that allowances for I don't know what type of allowances, but it's in the handing over. That was written by the former CEO.
So maybe this is something that you need to look into
Yes.
before agreeing to make any payments.
Yes.
Let me just comment. You were saying that we refer to the handing over notes. But what we can glean from these notes are the fact that
The allowances-
they are explaining terminologies. That is what I have seen in the notes. What is the meaning of a procurement unit? What is the meaning of development unit? And training and development? And background information about the institution. That is what I have seen in the...
No, when I
Except
mean the liabilities, where you have the liabilities.
The liabilities
Yes.
on the said report,
Yes.
and even on the reporting on the infrastructural development, it is referring. This report is referring, the handing over that is given to you is referring to the audit report of 2019, 2020, and 2021. That is what is contained here. Instead of writing what has been done by the officer in charge, that is
He's
Usman
referring
Ture,
also to-
he is referring to the audit report.
Exactly.
Yes. So can you take me to
Liabilities for and against the council.
that is at what page?
I don't know. This is I think it's the last 2 pages. Is the after the commission?
Yes, I've seen that.
Yes.
Yes. This I believe it's like a copy and paste.
Allowance to general council,
Yes.
187,500. This I believe is commission on sitting allowances, but even the audit report for 2021 is stated that there are no meetings of those were given, so I don't know allowances for what.
So as far as the council is concerned, this list is the comprehensive list of the debtors for the council,
Yes.
which totals to 3,581,000. Is that it?
Yes. Even some of this you can even find out, like some of them are even shopkeepers, like Amaduka.
We will come to that because we have requested you to bring some certain documents.
Yes.
And sure, we will call you back. And please make available some of these documents. But where you go back to the office and it is indicated that it is with the commission, we will allow the secretariat to check through our documents.
The contract
And,
files we were told is with the commission.
Yes, we will confirm for you in writing what we have with respect to those contracts.
Okay.
All right. I think this is a convenient point to stop. Council, are you done?
No, I had some questions.
Yes, okay. You can,
Okay.
because we still have time.
Mr. Salah, is there an asset register at the council now?
Yes, we are developing one. We are yet to finish because some of them.
Sorry, I can't hear you. Can you speak into the mic?
I said we are developing one.
Okay.
Because the one we found out we couldn't, the year of purchase, even whereas it's donated, we don't know the year. But I'm sure by very soon we will be done with the one we're dealing with.
Okay. Does the council have cars?
There is only one pickup we have.
Do you have trucks?
Trucks, no.
Tractors?
Yes, we have tractors.
How many?
We have 2 tractors and 3 trailers.
2 tractors and 3 trailers.
Yes.
Are you familiar with your establishment register?
Establishment register.
The one created for payroll purposes?
Yes.
Can I just show you a document? Is that for your council?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one for 2023?
Yes.
Okay, so can you just check? It looks like you have 12 drivers,
Yes.
but you only have one vehicle and 2 tractors.
Yes.
So you have more drivers than you have vehicles.
Exactly.
So what do the drivers do when they come to work, or do they even come to work?
Yes, some they come. You know, now that we are trying to, we had these tricycles from the NEA, and yes, and the last time we had meeting, and we are going to transfer some of those drivers to be using those tricycles to be collecting our. That's what we're doing.
You're going to transfer them to another employment?
No. You know, we have these tricycles.
They were donated to the council?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to use those drivers to use the tricycle to be collecting rubbish for the council.
Okay, but so far your drivers don't have work to do?
No, they don't.
And do you know for how long this has been?
Well, I think the council stayed for a long time without vehicle. That I am sure of.
Okay. Sorry, I'd like to tender that document. Chairperson, I'd like to tender that. Sorry, yes, you had
Yes,
something to
I
say?
even said it. It's good that we had this, because even if you look at the collectors and even the cleaners.
Yes, I just want to tender it because we can't deal with the document until it's an exhibit. So, Chairperson, I apply to tender the establishment register for Basse Area Council 2023.
Yes, the other document. Yes. The establishment register for Basse Area Council for the year 2023 is hereby admitted in evidence and marked as LGC/BGS/BSAC/003.
As a commission, please.
Deputy Registrar.
Assistant Registrar, kindly show the document back to the witness. Now, Mr. Sala, your cleaners, where exactly do they work?
Cleaners.
Yes, where do they work? Where do they clean?
They clean the offices, and if you see
They clean the offices and where?
if you like, there are street cleaners. Street cleaners, sorry.
So you have cleaners for the office, you have street cleaners.
Yes, and we have cleaners for a cleaner for the residents, for the CO's residents. But the street cleaners, we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So the council is paying for the CEO's cleaner?
Yes.
That would be your cleaner?
Yes.
Is there a reason why?
That's what we found.
Okay, but there's some things that you have found that you have changed.
Yes. But even that cleaner, sometimes I told the director of planning, because we wouldn't, because me, I'm closing my door almost every day, so she would not even clean. So she was transferred even to the head office. But even though we had a lot of clean, and even some of the cleaners are at the hospital, where we are trying to see if we will write back to Minister of Health, because there are some cleaners that are appointed by the council, but they are posted in health facilities and securities.
So
but
you have 42 cleaners?
Yeah, 42 cleaners.
And are you able to account for all of them?
No, you cannot.
What are you doing to determine which cleaners are actually working?
What we did was, because our first priority was the accounts officer, revenue collectors that bring revenue to us. We had organized 2 meetings to meet with all of them. But first meeting we had 14 came out of the 20 something. And the second one also, when we did it, 15 came. So we are still under.
How many revenue collectors do you have on the establishment register?
Including the finance director and the finance manager, they have up to 40.
So you're paying salaries for at least 25 that you don't know whether they work?
We will bring you our next payroll.
No, so I know you said that the
Yes.
chairman, I think,
Yes.
gave a directive, etc.
Exactly.
So what I want to know is, so the council has been paying salaries for the extra 25 that you can't determine whether or not they actually work for the council.
Well, these were documents. These were the documents.
No, I'm just asking, so I just need to know whether that's the case or that's not the case.
Yeah, I'm sure that was the case.
Okay. And is it possible that those 25 who have not been turning up actually don't work for the council, that they may be ghost staff?
I would not be in the position to say that, whether they are.
You don't know whether it is possible? Because I asked, is it possible, not whether they actually are.
Well, there could be. It could be their ghost paid, I'm sure.
So is there a way for you to confirm this?
Yes, that's what we said. We had the establishment file. We'll bring those reports. We engage the establishment report, and anybody, those files, some of the files are incompleted. Most of them only appointment letters, no certificate, no application. It's in the queries. So now that we have no even birth certificate, no ID card attached to those files. So we are trying to, and dealing with those files, the establishment committee chairperson, we had meetings. And I'm sure by now they could have done with the work, but maybe they're waiting for us to go and see. But that is, in my statement, it is clearly stated that what is in the establishment register and what is in the payroll is totally different.
So I understand all of that. I'm just trying to find out what steps you're taking to ensure or to confirm that they actually work or do not work for the council, and if terminations need to be made, that they're going to be made, etc.
No, that one is our recommendations, and the establishment committee is going to write, not committee person, because they are the one responsible. We will write the report, send it to the service commission to say that this is what we found and that this is what we are recommending.
Okay. Now you have a public relations officer under the establishment register.
Yes.
What is his role?
No, he has been, the act is not giving us.
Yes, I know. There's nothing in the act about PRO.
Exactly. So
Do
we
you know
don't have
how he was employed?
Now we don't have PRO anymore. We have a communication officer. This Omar Drame is now designated to inspector. He is heading the inspectorate team now.
You said you have a communications officer.
Yes.
And where is that one provided for? Where is that title provided for?
It's in the act.
Can you guide us?
I'm sorry, I don't have the act here.
I can lend you my copy.
Council, can you refer him to the
I don't know where. That's why I'm asking him to refer me.
word? Okay.
I think, if you can give me it, let me look at my listing, because I have saw it myself, but maybe here it would be difficult.
Okay, so can
Yes.
that
I
will be one of the information that
Yes.
part of the information you're going to
Yeah.
provide to the commission?
Yes, I can.
Do you have government properties within the council?
Government?
Properties. Assistant Registrar, can I have my volume back, please?
Government properties?
Yes. Within the jurisdiction of Basse.
Yes, we have.
And have they paid rates this year?
No, they haven't.
Did they pay last year? Because we had evidence previously of some rates that were not paid by government.
Yes. In fact, we are waiting for the property rate to able to pay.
You're waiting for the what?
The government property rates. We were told that it was supposed to pay since last week or 2 weeks ago, but up till now it's not yet paid.
But you issued demand notes?
Yes, they issued demand notes. We found that they issued demand notes.
So do you have an estimate or a rough idea of about how much?
I think it was 1 million plus, we were told.
And they said they would pay a few weeks ago?
Yes.
Okay. So the inspectorate that you have, it's made up of staff from the council?
Yes.
How many staff?
Only 2.
And that's the person who was previously PRO?
PRO, yes.
And who else?
And another man assisting him.
And another what?
Another person assisting him.
From which unit?
No, that guy is newly, he's a volunteer now. He's yet to be appointed, but we send his credential to the Service Commission for consideration.
So what we're trying to find out is, are all the staff that you have under your payroll, are they functional positions? Because we've established you have 42 cleaners. Do all those 42 cleaners work? You're not able to tell yet. But being in the council, being around the council, do you think you require 42 cleaners?
No, that's we don't need these cleaners, these 46 cleaners. We don't, and that is why I'm saying, maybe at the end of the report of our conclusion of the activities we are doing with the establishment committee, we will come up to give consideration to most of them, because some of them I don't know, because some of them we called for a general council meeting. For a general staff meeting. Not more than 40-something came. So we conducted the accounts only because the revenue collectors, out of the 25 or 40-something revenue collectors, only 15, 14 came. So that is why that prompted us to say that we need to engage the establishment committee to see if we can wipe out, those that are not in the system, and we move forward.
So it will look like the council has been operating with about 15 revenue collectors.
Yes, most probably. Because those are the revenue collectors we've seen and confirmed that these are the people who are collecting our revenues. Because we called for a meeting on 2 occasions, and those are the people who are coming. So meaning, to my own recommendation, we say that now 25 or 15 collectors are available for us.
And the Alkalos are already collecting rates on behalf of the council?
Yes, Alkalos, they collect. They collect also.
So I think what I'm trying to establish is that you have alternatives as well, or assistance in collecting your revenue lines, and the Act gives you power to delegate some of those functions.
These Alkalos, they will collect, and when collectors go to respective villages, some of them, we will tell them, some Alkalos, like the Alkalo in Basse, he will just go and deposit the monies to the account, to our account, and bring the slips to the revenue collector responsible for Basse, and that they will work the commission. But the other alkalos, like the other alkalos in Jemara, for example, or Fototo, the alkalos will collect, and revenue collectors will move to that village to collect it and calculate their distance. Previously, they were paying the money upfront. Like when they give you 100%, when they give you 10,000, of course you are giving it's 10%. So they give them upfront, and that is not. To us, we say that no, you cannot give cash to alkalos. Deposit the money, and we raise a check and pay.
Because one of your revenue collectors that came said that when he's collecting the funds from the alcalo, they will go through the list of the people that live within the community that have properties to determine that each person has paid and to be able to issue a receipt for each one.
Yes.
And he also confirmed that the 10% would be paid up front.
Exactly.
So is it when you came into office that you asked them to stop paying cash up front?
No, we don't pay upfront. We pay after when they receive the revenue, they deposit to the accounts, and we raise a check to pay to the alcalo.
So what I'm saying is one of the revenue collectors that came from Basse gave evidence that what I just said, they would go and go through the list with the alcalo and issue receipts, and the alcalo would hand over the cash, and they would give, less than 10%, and then they would go and deposit that into the account and get the deposit slip. So what I'm asking is, this method that you're talking about, where the alcalo deposits directly into the bank, is this something that you met at the council, or is it something that you introduced to the council?
Yeah, that has been the policy. For us, since we came in, nobody paid alkalos commission, but I think they were doing that. Yes.
Now, you also spoke about the market stalls and that how they were allocated by the governors, and there were about 91 stalls, I think, that were not allocated. Do you know why they were not allocated?
No, they were allocated, but then they were allocated to non.
Sorry, is it 91 or 19?
91.
91.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Some of them, they were allocated and they are out of business. So they cannot, under what the idea was, you cannot enter into, like you have to sign a contract, so you cannot subcontract it to another person. So that was why some of them, they were allocated and that they couldn't come, because you don't have the powers to give it to another person. If you are out of business, you have to come and give back to area council, then area council will give it to somebody else. So maybe some of them were allocated and they were out of business. When the market got born, some of them went out of business, and the target was those who were in the market during the time of the fire incident. So those people, I'm sure that could have been the case.
So none of those people have returned the properties, the canteens?
No, they don't.
And do you know whether the governor did anything about that?
No, I think when the governor did his final listing, when he handed over, all the stores were handed over to council. So it was the responsibility of the councils. Did
the council have agreements with the tenants of the
Exactly, yes, they have.
So you had. So the council didn't do anything about re-entering the properties?
Exactly.
I'm asking, did the council do anything about re-entering or cancelling the contracts?
Yes, that's what we are doing now.
Okay, you're doing that now.
Yeah, exactly. We've written a memo and attached to those canteens that are closed for 6-7 months. Some even 1 year, So if now we will have to allocate those canteens again to other people who are interested, and we will do that as soon as possible because we are losing revenue.
One of the audit reports had highlighted that there were monies paid by applicants for the stores to the council. I think $500 is per applicant, and then there were some issues surrounding that. And the council was supposed to reimburse the people that didn't end up having stalls. Do you know whether that issue was resolved?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Okay. Can you look into it? Because one of the witnesses had said, I think the council was making arrangements to repay those funds.
Yeah, but I think if they have clearly stated that we did it in Mansokongo, it's clearly stated a non-refundable application fee. If it was stated,
There were recommendations for refunds because what happened was the council took more applicants than they knew they had stalls.
yeah.
And there was an issue. I think that is why it moved to the governor's office.
Okay, yes.
So can you just look into those and let us know at a later date what happened, whether those people were reimbursed? Because there was a recommendation, I think, from the auditors that they be reimbursed, and the council had agreed to do that and said it was ongoing.
Okay.
Thank you. Chairperson, I have no further questions.
I believe it's a convenient point to stop. Mr. Sala, you are discharged.
Thank you.
We will recall you when we want further clarification on issues that may come up.
Okay.
Thank you. We may rise.
Thank you.